Hey guys, Tom itself here, back with some more shotgun probability. Yes, this is incredibly nerdy and I enjoy it. I hope you do too, so today we're taking a look at the USAS shotgun. I'm picking up where I left off with the SPAS. What can I say? I really enjoy using the USAS. It lets you do some really crazy stuff and it's a lot of fun. As with my SPAS video, I'm going to be trying to answer the age-old question, damage or range for your shotgun. I'm also going to take a look at steady aim too. Now with the SPAS, it mostly came down to that incredibly slow fire rate, meaning you had to be absolutely sure that that first shot was a kill. Even at fairly close ranges, it was kind of questionable, and so damage was really the way to go. However, the USAS has roughly twice the fire rate of the SPAS. You know, maybe you have a better shot getting that second shot out, and maybe damage, you might consider trading it off for range. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that. Now, I'm doing this kind of a statistics thing, and there are two key assumptions I have to tell you before I get into it, and that is I am assuming that all the pellets are completely independent of each other, and that there's an equal probability that they go anywhere in the cone of spread the shotgun shoots them out into. Lets me simplify the problem quite nicely into a binomial, and well, then I just kind of plug away in Excel and churn out some graphs. That's a nice triple, wasn't it? Anyway, let's get into the nerdy glory of the charts and numbers and whatnot. Let's start off with a damage chart. USAS is a 25 to 5 damage weapon, and what it basically ends up meaning is that the last, I don't know, 2 meters of range of the gun is just, you're going to get hit markers, and you're really not doing any damage, because at the very edge of the range, it's 20 pellets to kill, so it's, yeah. But okay, you compare that to the SPAS, which started out at 30 damage, but effectively there's no a whole lot of difference because the number of pellets to kill is the same. Chart's a little different this time, but same idea. And you also see that range isn't really any better than damage until you're out past 12, 13 meters, and that's where it actually begins to do something for you. Otherwise, if you're 10 meters or less, damage is going to help you out more, be more consistent, and be more forgiving. Alright, let's get on to the probability charts. You've got range on the y-axis, time on the x-axis, and lines to represent different levels of probability. So the solid line is a 97% probability of getting a kill. So at the first shot, about 5 meters or so, you've got a 97% chance of getting a kill. And then you've got about an 83% chance, getting up close to 7 meters. A 67% chance, a little past 8, and then about 10 meters, you're 50-50. But this is just the stock weapon and without steady aim. You see, you get more shots you fire. As the time goes on, you see the fire rate of the weapon. You get more and more likely to get a kill further and further out. Yeah, go watch the SPAS video if that doesn't make sense. I go into a little more depth there. Let's go ahead and add in steady aim. And like the SPAS, the USAS obviously benefits greatly from steady aim. If you can be accurate, absolutely go for it, use it, it's going to help you out. Now let's add in damage, and this is damage with steady aim. And once again, damage is going to help you out. There is a fairly noticeable separation there at 12 and a half, 13 meters, somewhere in there, that really is going to limit the first shot range of the gun. And you'll see it, that's where it's starting to take more and more pellets to get that kill. And you get it out where it takes 10, 15, 20 pellets to get that kill. And it's just, if you keep pulling the trigger, you keep getting hit markers. And yeah, you could get a kill at that range, but the effective range of the gun, 15, 16 meters, thereabouts. So damage obviously helps, but let's add in range. And, well, it's fairly impressive. For first shot, super consistent, nah, not so much. But that 50% line, even on the first shot, passes the 50% on damage. And then when you look at the second shot, that 97% line is out past 14 meters. That's very impressive. So I'm going to have to say I'm going to start trying range out when I'm running my USAS. So this makes it look like a clear choice over damage. That is, unless you want a little more consistency at the fairly close range, 10 meters or less. So yeah, range on the USAS. I'm going to give that a try. let's go ahead and throw Specialist in there too, just because it's funny. You start out with damage and you get the Specialist bonus, you get range too, so obviously the shotguns get fairly scary. There's just something about that 9 pellets from the USAS that, you know, even if it's not doing a whole lot of damage, and the range drop off again, you could be getting hit markers and not doing a whole lot, but still, it makes the gun pretty scary. And finally, let's go ahead and do damage, but without steady aim. And so it's, even with damage, if you're not using steady aim, you're less effective than someone who's making good use of steady aim. So, just kind of interesting, but yeah, so steady aim, better than damage, or at least if you can be accurate, right? Alright, so let's go ahead and compare the USAS with the USAS-12 that I did the previous probability video on. And if we just look at hits to kill, they're the same. The stock weapons are the same until they get out past 10 meters where the SPAS has an advantage. Now, if you remember, the USAS does have 1 more pellet than the SPAS. SPAS only has 8, the USAS has 9. I said I wanted damage on my SPAS, and in this video I said I wanted range on my USAS. So let me go ahead and plot both of those probabilities on the same graph. Alright, and we'll see that the SPAS does have a slight advantage over the USAS to about 13 meters. It's going to be a little bit more consistent, but past that, and after the first shot, USAS is the clear winner. I don't think anyone's surprised by that, but just how impressive that is, that with the USAS getting its 3rd shot off when the SPAS gets its 2nd, to be honest, you're going to be lucky to get that 3rd shot with the USAS, or the 2nd even with the SPAS. So, yeah, there's no real need for any complicated comparison here. I'm going to take the USAS every day over the SPAS. It's clearly the better shotgun. It also gives you more sprinting distance, and the SPAS doesn't. So yeah, USAS all the way. But I don't exactly expect the winner to be so clear in every case. I'm going to have to come up with some way of ranking these things. It's very tricky, because if I make a specific breakpoint, there's always going to be some weapons with a fire rate just above or just below that kind of throw it off. So I'm not sure what to do here. Nonetheless, as I get into more shotguns, and maybe we'll even get into some other Call of Duty games and trying to rank them against each other, I'm going to have to come up with some way of doing that. So if you have any thoughts, let me know. Just remember that I can't just say the maximum range get a kill, because if you shoot enough, eventually the target dies. I have to be somewhat discriminating here, so we'll see what we come up with. Well guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, found it interesting, maybe even informative. I don't really enjoy making a video for every single gun. It's a little formulaic, but there is so much data here that I actually have to look at every single gun. It seems to be the way to go. And I'm going to keep trying to wrap things up, make some comparisons between what I've already done, the weapon I just looked at. But hopefully by the end of this, we'll have a reasonably good comparison of all the shotguns, and maybe even all the Call of Duty games. It sounds like a lot of work, but maybe we'll get there. Well, yes, thanks again, and I will see you next time.